to this Monday edition of Focal Point AFR Talk. Welcome back. I'm guessing a lot of you just did not know that FDR and Winston Churchill, the first time they got together, that was the first time they had met face-to-face, was on board the HMS Wales in the North Atlantic in 1941. The first thing they did when they met was go to church. And Winston Churchill picked the hymns, and FDR picked the hymns. In fact, when Winston Churchill went to Washington, D.C. that December, right around Christmas time, FDR took him all over the place. They went to the Christmas tree celebration, and Winston Churchill heard the Christmas song, O Little Town of Bethlehem, for the first time as FDR's guest in Christmas of 1941. Not a lot of people know that. But most people don't know that the first thing they did when they got together is they went to church on the deck of a warship, the HMS Wales, and sang together Onward, Christian Soldiers. And one of the things I don't think we often appreciate enough is how young the men who went to combat on our behalf were. And Rob, we were talking on the break about just kind of one of the amazing little facts about your father's service.
Yeah, Brian, it just totally amazes me on a regular basis is that he was 20 years old, 20, 21, 22, when he was flying these combat missions over Germany. Well, Brian, I don't know about you, but when I was 20 years old, I could barely tie my shoelaces, I'm telling you, it just amazes me.
Well, and I wonder too, and I thank you, Rob, for that extra little bit of information. We have this prolonged adolescence in America right now. I mean, it's just disturbing to me that we are prolonging adolescence into the mid-20s. I think President Obama is a part of that. You can stay on your parents' medical coverage till you're 26. Criminally, when do you become an adult and accept responsibility for your own life? So, I mean, it's a reminder that people will grow up as fast as they are expected to grow up. They will mature as rapidly as they are expected to mature. People always are going to follow the path of least resistance. So we need to raise the bar. We need to communicate to our young men and young women, you are capable of acting as an adult. You're capable of mature lifestyle choices. Back in the Old Testament, and even in the days of Jesus, a Jewish male underwent a bar mitzvah at the age of 12 or 13. Bar is the Aramaic word for son. Mitzvah is the Aramaic word for law. You became a son of the law at age 12 or 13. That's why Jesus went to Jerusalem at age 12 and was sitting in the temple talking to the leaders. He was required to go because at age 12 he became a son of the law. In other words, he became an adult. He became an adult for the purposes of the law. And from age 12 or 13, he was expected to assume adult responsibility to obey the law. He was going to be treated from that day forward, not as a boy, but as a young man. And so we've now delayed emergence into adulthood from age 12 to age 27. I mean, what is up with that? And then we wonder why we have a generation of slackers on our hands. Now, one thing, we sent an action alert out today from the American Family Association saying that our military personnel need to know that we've got their back. We've got an action alert out urging our folks, and if you haven't gotten it, if you've got it, act on it. If you haven't got it, go to our website, afa.net. Upper right-hand corner, you'll see the action alert button, and take action on this. There is an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that has an amendment attached to it that would protect religious liberty in the military. You realize the enormous assault under this commander-in-chief that religious liberty is under right now in the United States military. But do not forget, it is not the job of the president to establish the rules for the military. That, according to the Constitution, is the responsibility of Congress. Congress is the one, according to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, it is Congress that makes the rules for the military, not the commander-in-chief. So it's important that we let our military personnel know that we've got their back, we're behind them, we want their religious liberty to be protected in every possible way. So take action on that. Send your senators and your representative a letter that they passed the National Defense Authorization Act with religious liberty protections included. You can do that with just one click at afa.net. Now, before we shift gears, I want to mention that, as you're aware, we're coming up on the Christmas season, and we're urging everybody to get their Merry Christmas buttons from the AFA in time to wear them on Black Friday. That's our goal. We want a Black Friday campaign where everybody in America is wearing an AFA button that says Merry Christmas. It's a beautifully designed button. We've talked about it before. If you order it today, you can get it in time to wear it on Black Friday. Wear it to the Gap. Wear it to Old Navy. Wear your Merry Christmas button. Thank them for becoming a Christmas-friendly store. Buy some gifts for your family on Black Friday at the Gap or Old Navy. I'm just kind of, they're not the only one, but I think we want to thank them for becoming Christmas-friendly in their advertising. But we're sending these out in 10 packs. It includes shipping, $12. You can get a pack of 10 Christmas buttons, and all the shipping and handling is included in that. You can say Merry Christmas to your friends, to your church, your school, your whole community. You can wear and share these beautiful Christmas buttons. Get a 10-pack. Give them away to your family. Give them away to your Bible study. Give them away to your Sunday school class. Share them with people in your church. Have your whole church order up bags of these and distribute them so we can wear them and share them on Black Friday and get the Christmas message out. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Obamacare today and some of the developments over the weekend. It's a target-rich environment out there. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the audio opens that we have on this program, I frankly will put the audio opens on Focal Point. I will put them up against any audio open in the entire country, under any radio program, any format, you name it. We've got the best audio intros in the business, and that's because of Jeff Reed, the producer here at Focal Point. In fact, even Sean Hannity imitating what Jeff Reed did on this program. I mean, they're late to the game. We're on the cutting edge here, and I haven't heard anybody else do this, but what Jeff did, I tell you, just cracked me up. It's a good thing that Jeff had my mic off because I was laughing out loud in here. The intro from today's program. This is Brenda Lee. This is brilliant. Remember, the world was abuzz last week at Obama's apology, which we dissected, and you called in about it, a totally fake apology. It was a non-apology apology. But here is, I just want to replay a little bit of our intro today just to enjoy this again. Jeff, let's hear it.
A healthcare rollout that is as important to the country and to me as this is. And it doesn't work like a charm. That's my fault.
I'm sorry.
We weren't as clear as we needed to be. I regret very much. First of all, I meant what I said, and we worked hard to try to make sure that we implemented it properly. But obviously we didn't do a good enough job. We're going to do everything we can to deal with folks who find themselves in a tough position as a consequence of this. I am sorry that they are finding themselves in this situation. Rather than push down blame on a whole bunch of people underneath me, I am sorry.
Oh, I mean, that is brilliant, and I do not throw that term around lightly. So anyway, let's talk about a little bit about Obamacare. Now, let's begin, Rob, with clip number 3, and we'll open up the phone lines here, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. You want to weigh in on Veterans Day? You want to weigh in on the difference in our military from FDR to our current Commander-in-Chief? You're welcome to do it. You want to weigh in on Daniel in the Lion's Den? Maybe God protected you at a time when it looked like the whole world was caving in on you, and you came out of that because God's power was at work on your behalf. Anyway, any of those things we'll talk about, 888-589-8840. Now, President Obama, remember, he said all the way during the campaign, if you like your insurance, you can keep it. We played where he said it 34 times. We played the montage a couple of times, over and over and over again. If you like your insurance, you can keep it, period. No caveats. Now, he came out later and said, well, if you like it, what we said was, if you like it, you can keep it if it hasn't been changed. That's not what he said. He said, if you like your insurance, you can keep it. You like your doctor, you can keep it. Well, it turns out that even President Obama knew, and the issue is, was this a lie? Did he know better when he said, if you like your insurance, you can keep it? Did he know that that was not true? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you say something that you know is not true, that is a lie. If you say something that you know is not true, that is a lie. You're not misspeaking. You are lying through your teeth. Now, I want to go back to 2010. This is President Obama in a kind of a summit meeting with Republican leaders. Eric Cantor's the first one that you're going to hear speaking, and then you'll hear President Obama respond. Listen to this exchange.
And because I don't think that you can answer the question in the positive to say that people will be able to maintain their coverage, people will be able to see the doctors they want in the kind of bill that you're proposing.
Well, let me, since you asked me a question, let me respond. The 8 to 9 million people that you refer to that might have to change their coverage, keep in mind out of the 300 million Americans that we're talking about, would be folks who the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, estimates would find the deal in the exchange better, would be a better deal. So yes, they would change coverage because they've got more choice and competition.
All right, and that's a huge admission on the part of President Obama. I mean, don't miss that. This is President Obama in 2010. 8 to 9 million people might have to change their coverage. That means they're not going to be able to keep their insurance, even if they like it. So President Obama, words from his own lips in 2010, I agree, I admit, I acknowledge that millions and millions and millions of Americans will not be able to keep their insurance even if they like it. They are going to have to change coverage. That is his word. The 8 to 9 million people you refer to that might have to change their coverage. Now, we know that the figure is actually much, much higher, anywhere from 53 million. President Obama's own people, as they were analyzing the rollout, they said, look, this is going to affect 93 million American people. Other assessments by scholars, American Enterprise Institute, run the number up to 129 million people are going to lose their insurance. And the best analysis I've seen indicates that only 2% of policies that are currently in place were Obamacare compliant. That means 98% of the policies on the market currently in use were going to have to be scrapped. They're going to have to be canceled. They were going to have to be changed and made more expensive in order to comply with Obamacare. So here's President Obama. I mean, that's not 129 million, but even President Obama admits 8 to 9 million of you are going to lose your insurance. So when he said, if you like your insurance, you can keep it, he was lying through his teeth. Back in 2.